Philadelphia's mind-numbing second-half performance on offense versus the Bills on Sunday was really nothing new. But I do think we finally got Nick Sirianni to confirm what's actually been going on. Plus why Jalen Hurts put on his best performance of the entire season for just 2 quarters, while Vic Fangio's defense completely bullied Josh Allen with one arm, fighting off the referees with the other, which now presents Philadelphia with a crazy decision that they might have already just leaked. Thomas Mott, this is the Thomas Mott Show. What Philadelphia did on a rainy Sunday afternoon in Buffalo is what Philadelphia's done best the entire season. Look like a championship-caliber offense for 2 whole quarters, only to slam on the brakes in the second half and lay an absolute offensive egg, as KP's plan for closing out the reigning MVP was run the ball up the middle and then pray. And thankfully, Philadelphia's defense answered his prayer by delivering their most dominant performance of the entire season, which now leads us to an even bigger question heading into this week that I think Jalen Hurts just answered. First, though, the winner of the final touchdown predictor on the previous video is at the end of today's video, so stay tuned to the end to see if you won. And then the new giveaway for this week is a Jordan Spector art Nick Foles Believe picture, because I still believe in Philadelphia, at least their defense. To enter to win this bad boy, why don't you drop a like on today's video, be subscribed, and comment down below if you think Philadelphia will be one and done in the playoffs, or if they're going to win multiple playoff games. Again, go ahead and comment. Now, I really want to start with the Birds offense because I think Nick Sirianni finally blew the lid on the whole internal problem during his post-game press conference on Sunday evening. I also would like to start with Vic Fangio's defense for dominating Josh Allen and saving the day once again. But let's just be real. Question number 1 in Philadelphia this morning is, what will the Birds decide to do 6 days from today in their final home game, Week 18 versus the Washington Commanders? Because thanks to Brock Purdy's absolute masterclass on Sunday night, Philadelphia still has a very clear shot at the number 2 overall seed. As a win at home this coming week versus the Commanders, plus a Lions win over the Bears, Philadelphia slips up to the 2 spot instead of staying put in the number 3 overall seed. And while, of course, it's not up to Jalen Hurts, it sure sounded like Jalen Hurts, when asked this exact question post-game, is going to try to go ahead and play this coming Sunday.
Are you viewing it like you'll play next week? Are you viewing it like this is the last time you'll play before the postseason?
Absolutely.
You're viewing.
Absolutely, yes. Looking forward to the opportunity. Obviously, it's above my control. I think you asked me something similar to that. Yeah. It's my approach.
Now, I've gone back and forth on this decision literally all of last night and this morning. Like, on one hand, getting the guys some rest and accepting the 3 seed, it makes a ton of sense, because you're likely playing the LA Rams or another NFC West team to jumpstart the wildcard round, and you might need all the strength you can muster and all the health you can get before facing, again, Matthew Stafford. But then on the flip side, the 2 seed, it's just too important for me not to go ahead and try for. I mean, Detroit is definitely going to give it their all and try and beat the Bears on Sunday afternoon, who could easily lose that game. And then Philadelphia's reward for claiming the 2 spot is a date at home in the playoffs against the reeling number 7 seed injured Packers. Plus, the real kicker is a guaranteed second home playoff game in the divisional round, like last year versus the Rams, and then possibly even a third in the NFC Championship game if things go your way like they did last year. Personally, this defense at the Link might be unbeatable in the playoffs, I think, regardless of rest or not. Both Chicago and Philadelphia play at 4:25. The schedule just came out this coming Sunday afternoon, so you won't be able to watch the Bear game and then decide. And so maybe Philadelphia simply starts the starters, plays them at the beginning of the game, tries to get a lead, and then scoreboard watches for the Bears and the Lions. And if Chicago starts blowing out the Lions, you pull everybody, you rest them up. But then if the Lions start winning, maybe you go for it, try and get this victory, because to me, the number 2 seed, it's just too important. Of course, I totally think Tanner McKee could easily win this on his own, but I think we do underestimate what he would look like with just backups around him. I know he played well in that one preseason game a long time ago, but for those reasons, I think you have got to take a good hard look at taking the number 2 seed, winning this game on Sunday, praying the Lions win as well, and then, hosting home playoff games at the Link. That has to mean something. I don't know, guys. Give me your thoughts. I'm very curious. I'm torn on this. Do you want rest or do you want the 2 seed? Let me know down below. Now, of course, none of this playoff talk would really even matter if not for Philadelphia's 100% certified elite defense, who completely shut down Buffalo's offense on their first 8 possessions of the game, with the red-hot reigning NFL MVP, who hadn't lost a home game in his last 16 starts, starting off punt, fumble, punt, 3 and out, punt, turnover on downs, that was crazy, and punt once again. I mean, to even move the football, it took 2 insane catches down the field, one of which I personally don't think was a catch at all, plus a horrific pass interference call on Quinyon Mitchell. Which, by the way, I hate complaining about the NFL refs, but my goodness, the NFL refs missed a ton of calls on Sunday, and all of them went against Philadelphia. I mean, this right here, this isn't pass interference on Tre'Davious White for literally holding A.J. Brown's arm. Yet despite all of that, Philadelphia's front four dominated. I mean, come on, we said this 50 times in a row this season, once again. bolstering a top 5 league-high sacks, 25 since acquiring Jalen Phillips, including 2 from the second-year sensation Jelix Hunt this past Sunday.
I like to consider us the eye of the storm. You know, while everything else is swirling around us, we're in the middle, we're calm. Everything could be messy as hell at the end of the day, but when we're in the eye of the storm, everything is calm. We have to keep ourselves composed, can't get the moment get too big or too long or however it may be.
The entire NFL today is talking about how Jalen Hurts and the Eagle offense was terrible in the second half. We'll talk about that. They were. Nobody is talking about the fact that James Cook, the NFL rushing champ right now, and the reigning NFL MVP Josh Allen, they were completely shut out for almost 3 quarters. They did nothing for 3 quarters. Crickets from the media, and yet all of us Eagle fans, we saw the game. We know how legit this defense actually is.
It ended the way it went the way it went, and flowed the way it flowed, and defense played a hell of a game. They played as a true unit, and were able to go out there and play and click.
It's on us. It's on us. Whether they score a billion or they score 2, it doesn't matter. We just want to go out there and we want to have one more point than the other team at the end of the game, and we went out there and we did that.
Dogs. Our defense is just dogs, full of dogs. And they did an unbelievable job, and we're going to need them to continue to do a great job throughout the stretch of the season. And we know offense, we got to continue to do what we need to do to finish games and win.
And can we just give some love to Jalen Carter, for instance, who reports revealed pregame he could not even do a single push-up on those injured shoulders just a few weeks ago. They hurt that bad. And then in his first game back since surgery, completely took over, dominating up front, and then literally, seriously, he won the game on yet another blocked field goal. Revealing once again just how insane this unit is when he's back, when he's healthy, and everybody's firing on all cylinders.
The pressure he was able to put on, the blocked extra point was huge. I actually, as we went through some of the highlights afterwards, I forgot to mention it, and that was a huge play, because then they're kicking a field goal or an extra point to win the game at the end instead of going for 2 to try to win. And so, yeah, huge to have him back. He did a great job of taking care of himself and getting himself ready to go, and it's huge to have him back and involved in that defense.
This right here, currently, it's the best defense in the National Football League. I know Seattle's up there, whatever. You can't run against them. If you try and pass against them, you're going to get your quarterback's teeth knocked out. The secondary is playing absolutely lights out whenever Q's not getting called for ridiculous penalties. This is the best unit right here. And for as bad as the offense was in the second half, and we should not have to rely on Philadelphia's defense to win all these tight games, this is the one reason why Philadelphia can win back-to-back Super Bowls. There is no reason this defense, especially if they're the 2 seed, cannot win 3 straight games or 2 straight games at home against, Sam Darnold in the postseason, Caleb Williams in the postseason. I think they're absolutely going to feast, and it's the number one reason why I'm not fully panicked today, despite, as we'll see, a horrible second half from Jalen Hurts in the offense. But that, of course, is the main conversation today that everyone's talking about is the offensive performance, because it's so infuriating, because even if they were just competent for 4 quarters, Philadelphia, because of the defense, probably wins by 20, maybe even 30 points. And just jumping into the offense as a whole, what's even more infuriating for me is the fact that because they were so bad in the second half, Jalen Hurts was absolutely dealing. In that first half alone, against the best pass defense maybe in the entire NFL, Hurts already had 115 passing yards, 68 to A.J. Brown, and a 96 quarterback rating, while making some insane throws. These were absolutely incredible. Everyone's forgotten about that. Well, Saquon was averaging 5.6 yards per carry and was well on his way to 100 yards on the day.
I think we kind of went back to a consistent theme of playing really well one half and not well the other half, not putting a full game together. And, obviously we know we got to get better at that. It's a lot easier to get better from it when it's a win. But personally, I feel like when there's like 6 minutes left, you want to kind of end the game with the ball in your hands, and we didn't do that, and I didn't do that, so I'll take responsibility for that.
Second half, I thought they still stuck with their guns. I think we didn't execute. Maybe we can watch the film back. We can see what we could have done better scheme-wise, but I thought they were still doing the same things from the first half, and that's why I think it was probably more of a execution thing up front in the run game. But I still thought we moved the ball, especially in that first half, really well. And I think we just got to finish a little bit more in the second half.
That offense right there can win another championship. That, to me, was the best offense performance, because how good the secondary is for the Buffalo Bills, I've seen the entire season. Throws across the middle, under center play action pass, empty him out, spread around, Jalen Hurts running around the pocket. It's everything we've been wanting. Everything we've seen the past 2 weeks against lesser opponents in the Commanders and the Raiders. But then, I don't know, Kevin Patullo walks into halftime, somebody picks up the little Men in Black mind wiper and goes beep, and Kevin Patullo's mind is wiped, and then the second half is an absolute mess. Philadelphia ran just 17 plays for 17 yards in the entire second half. And it's now the second game this season where Jalen has thrown for 0 net passing yards in a win. First one was against the, obviously, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Before you go ripping QB1 like everybody else, not saying he was perfect in the second half, but I beg you, please watch this film breakdown from Brian Baldinger on his Twitter account this morning about the play calling in the second half alone.
The Eagles' offense was choppy last night. I mean, this is 3rd and 10. This was a consistent theme last night. I don't know if this is the distance that the route is supposed to go. 8 yards on the speed out. Christian Benford right there. But on 3rd and 10, all right, Benford tackles A.J. Brown out of bounds. You gain 8, you got to punt. All right, here you go. Now it's 3rd and 9. 3rd and 9, just going to hand off on a little tackle trap by Fred Johnson and get tackled and be content just to walk off the field and go punt. Little odd. Then you get this, 3rd and 9. You're just running this little high-low concept right here, and you hit Goddard. I mean, content to kick the field goal, okay. But if you just content to kick field goals and aren't attacking, teams come back on you. You get this right here at the end of the game. It's 3rd and 10, 3rd and quarter. Now, the Eagles are up 13-0. That does make a difference in what you decide to do. But Buffalo is going to rush 3, and they're going to spy right here. It's a 3-man rush, and there's a spy on Jalen. All right? Now, it's too deep, and it's man under. All right? Pretty anticipated coverage in this situation. But there's just nobody open. Nobody, like no man beaters, anything. So Jalen really has no place to go but to end up throwing it away. Like, I just think the Eagles got to be a lot better on 3rd downs and a lot more aggressive on 3rd down. Still won the game. Still got 11 wins.
4 of the 5 Eagle possessions in that second half started out with 2 straight runs and then a pass. The other possession was 3 straight passes with 0 runs. And when you get blocks like this from Pro Bowler Cam Jurgens, my gosh, you know the drive is instantly going nowhere and they're going to punt. Philadelphia's offense is a rhythm offense. It flourishes on under center play action pass, letting Jalen cook out of empty sets. None of those were even thought about in the second half as, for some reason, aggression was completely forgotten about in place of playing it safe.
I think we got into a good rhythm and good groove. We're able to move the ball down the field in the first half, and in the second half, there are a lot of things that I have to watch the tape on to be able to pinpoint. Obviously, maintaining aggression is one thing, and maintaining rhythmic ball play, then just going out there and executing ultimately. So you always look yourselves in the mirror with that.
Jalen Hurts admitted it right there. They took their foot off the gas. The aggression wasn't there. I'm not sure why. It takes him saying that publicly, why they can't just fix it internally. That's revealing in and of itself. But the most revealing clip of the entire season was actually from the mouth of Nick Sirianni. It's rare, but he gave us a good one post-game. Listen to this. He basically admits that Kevin Patullo needs a ton of help play calling, and he didn't get it in the second half.
Obviously, this has happened to us before, this season. We have to do a better job of helping them be in positions to succeed. I got to help. I put it on myself. I got to help, with some things there, with some things that I know we want to get called. Kevin did a good job in that first half, but I got to help in that second half a little bit, getting some things that we want to get called there. And then, in execution, it's everything, right?
Why does Nick Sirianni have to help Kevin Patullo get to the right plays that they wanted to play from scheming earlier in the week? Couldn't Kevin Patullo simply get to the right plays himself? And once you ask that question and then actually watch the game in the second half there, really the entire season, the simple answer has always led back to the fact that Kevin Patullo is unable to scheme plays correctly without help or sequence plays correctly without help. This, to me, makes it all clear as day. Nick Sirianni by no means is an offensive genius, but reportedly 2 weeks ago, he started getting more involved with the offense, and they look night and day better than where they were. And now, post-game, he admits he didn't push KP into certain calls in the second half, and the result was negative net passing yards. The cat's out of the bag, and we've known it for months, but it's officially out of the bag now. Kevin Patullo simply cannot sequence plays or scheme things correctly without a ton of help, to the point that Nick Sirianni is looking like an offensive genius. And that fact alone is simultaneously terrifying, but also promising because on one hand, couldn't you just now force Nick Sirianni to help Kevin Patullo in the postseason the rest of the way, and then, don't forget about KP in the second half of these future games, and therefore the offense will look good? I don't know. It's mind-numbing. This is the Eagle offense that we're going to have to deal with. This is Kevin Patullo. He's probably going to get fired at the end of the season. He's not getting fired anytime soon until the season is over. Let's just hope they figure it out, which we've said that week after week after week. To me, it's still crazy, not to absolve Nick Sirianni, but why didn't he jump in the third quarter to fix stuff? I don't know. It's so crazy. Our only hope right now is that they're saving the good plays for the playoffs, or Nick Sirianni will completely take over and keep Kevin Patullo calling the right plays the rest of the way. And by good plays, I mean letting Jalen Hurts run like crazy and run under center and action under center. And how about some empty set looks? All these things are really, really good. They've worked the past couple of weeks. Oh my goodness. Am I confident that they're going to fix everything and be fine in the postseason? No, but what other option do I have? We've seen this offense perform really well. We saw it in the first 2 quarters. Just have to go ahead and do it for 4 quarters against good teams in the playoffs. And if they do, they'll win. If they won't, they're going to get bounced.
Obviously, it's something that we got to mix in some of the play action things that we've done so well in the last couple weeks, and not wait there. Again, that's on me. I know what the first play is going into every series, and so we got to do some different things there. We hit some good runs there in the first half. It wasn't hitting the same way, so we had to change. I should have done a better job there in that particular case to change some approaches there.
The crazy thing about all of this, though, is they still found a way to win. Once again, I mean, they've done it all season long. They went into Buffalo in the driving rain without Lane Johnson and beat the brakes defensively off Josh Allen and James Cook, and somehow still won that game. Thanks, Josh Allen, for this terrible throw on the 2-point conversion. And that might just be who this team is, because we've seen it time and time again this season against good teams. They play well for some quarters, play bad for the others, but eventually the defense bails them out. And so if you're still watching, you're probably wondering, Thomas, give it to me straight. How confident are you? What's going to happen in the postseason? And I think the answer is very simple. I think Philadelphia can win a playoff game. I think the defense can win multiple playoff games on its own, and I'm going to sit here and hope and pray the first half offense that Kevin Patullo or Nick Sirianni was calling versus the Buffalo Bills is what you get. If you get that in the postseason, they can win a Super Bowl. If you don't get that in the postseason, they probably win the first game, depending on if it's the Rams offense they're playing against or the Packer offense they're winning against. I don't know if they go any further, but I do have confidence. I think that's my problem here, is that I cannot get out the first half in my mind, and I cannot forget about how the defense played. And so, while you might be doom and gloom today, Jalen Hurts, Kevin Patullo, oh, it's all a mess, we're going nowhere, I still think Philadelphia has a serious chance to go on a deep postseason run, but it all starts, in my opinion, with securing the 2 seed. So put on your Detroit Lions hat, bite some kneecaps for Dan Campbell, and beat the Commanders on Sunday. And if you do that, I think Philadelphia is going to be in very, very good shape.
We got to do a better job on offense. At the end of the day, it really comes down to us and being detailed out. But most importantly, we got to win in a tough environment against a really good team. And it felt like a playoff atmosphere, so it's cool to get that before the playoffs start. So
now, of course, plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks, including our last touchdown score prediction winner from Saturday's show. A couple of you guys said Josh Allen, so we put in the predictor, and one person who was subscribed randomly selected to win was Timmy Two Trade, who said Josh Allen final touchdown, which he was correct on the tush push, funny enough. So send me an email down below, prove it's you. Everybody else did not win. Watch out for scammers in the comments section. I don't reply to your comments saying that you won. I say it here on the show. But Timmy, let me know your size, where to send it to. We'll get that sent out as soon as possible. And try and enjoy Victory Monday. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a crazy week. Be sure to follow the channel here. It's going to be nuts what they decide to finally do in terms of playing starters, resting starters. Who knows? I'm Thomas Mott, though. Pumped, I guess? Yeah, I don't know. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.